Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Cowgirl Aries, and then there's Cowboy Aaron without his hat.
It's kind of late evening here, 6:39. I guess it's not terribly late, but we're getting ready to watch Colombo. We've spent the day watching golf. It was a very good match, in my opinion. What do you think of the golf?
Very good. I was disappointed. It was getting me my first day watching something called Trout TV. I gotta wait till next Saturday.
And of course, because NASCAR was delayed or whatever, they ended up pushing back into Trout TV, and then they went with some paid programming during Trout TV. So.
And then me and Aaron saw something funny. I was doing a little channel surfing. We came across something called Downtown Abbey.
Yes, which I'd like to think about this. PBS, our version of PBS out here, whatever it's called. I think
Public
it's KPS
broadcast.
or whatever.
Public broadcasting.
And
each channel's got to raise enough money.
Anyways, what was it called? Something Abbey?
Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey. They're trying to charge $250 for all 4 seasons. So me and Rita, liking television shows and box set, we looked it up online. You can get it on Amazon for $58. The whole series, $58. Why would I go and buy it from PBS for $250? It doesn't make sense to me. They're not giving me a whole bunch of extra things that equal up to $200 extra, are they? Not really. I think they just give the basic standard box set from the way it was looking. Except for I could make monthly payments, $20 a month for however many months that is.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like 11 months or something.
Just so you can have the PBS thing, you know.
No, that'd be $220. So it'd be 12 months
There's a guy on what do you call it, on Amazon, and he's got his own website for like $60, right? Aaron and I can get it cheaper, but anyways, for like $40 we can get Living in the Wilderness 1, Living in the Wilderness 2, The Frozen North, and one other one, Alone in the Wilderness 1 and 2, Frozen North, and then Solitude in Alaska, with the book for like $40, whereas you go online and they're offering like $300 when they do their Alone in the Wilderness
it's a shame that PBS sells things so grossly overpriced, and I can't believe some people actually fall for buying that stuff.
The other day,
I can understand some of the PBS only programming that you can only get through PBS.
I was browsing.
You got something through there.
Hold on. Yeah, a long time ago. It was a transgender. No, that was the Discovery Channel. It was like $60, but anyways, this was a long time ago. Anyways, here's the thing, you know. The other day I was browsing something, books. There are certain books I want, and I was looking at it, and I believe it was the Freshwater Angler series. They wanted like $35 for it new, and I got it new for a penny on Amazon's Marketplace with $3.99 shipping. They wanted that, and then they wanted like $9.99 shipping through PBS. It's like, even though PBS has got like almost like 2 million positives on Amazon, no one's gonna pay that kind of cash for that kind of stuff, you know.
And since last week, I was in the ER. Nothing major. Well, maybe it is. I was in for palpitations. I've been having them up for 4 years, but I finally got a doctor who told me what they are. And I stopped playing games of saying, oh, well, it's rotator cuff, or it's gynecomastia, or it's...
Wear a bra!
Yeah, I got all sorts of weird answers from the doctors before. This one just came straight out and said it's palpitations. One doctor told me it was a pinched nerve in my back and they'd have to do surgery for it and can't be done. So now I'm going to go see a doctor again on Tuesday and hope that they don't go and try to do some stupid thing or say I don't need
Excuse me, I need to talk to you guys, the audience, about this. I'm putting my bottom dollar on it that the doctor's going to do something stupid.
Yeah, like say that I'm fat and I need to lose some weight. Or...
That's not the reason. The doctor he's got is my primary doctor.
Yeah, and it might even be that she'll put in there homosexual acts caused it and you don't need anything because it's just results of that. I'm sorry, I'm not that way. But doctors seem to assume that I am when I go in with her, and there's no reason for that. They can't make assumptions. Doctors can't work on assumptions, but a lot of them do.
Doctors are idiots, you know?
So, anyways, on to the meat of this one. We were having a problem coming up with a topic, but I thought of one based on a friend of mine who was thinking about taking the bus out to visit. I was mentioning earlier how I had a friend that was going to come out, and he hasn't gotten around to it yet, to some financial difficulties, but we found a good deal on a bus, and maybe he'll come out by bus, and he asked me how the trip was when I took a bus. Rita's never taken a bus yet.
Except for 4 hours from
oh, yes, that's
Seattle,
right. You
Everett
did take one from Seattle.
And it was okay, but it was not okay. 4 hours, I think I would have been,
Yeah, your butt was already numb after 4 hours.
But I was on a freaking airplane across country in that time. Then I got on a bus, you know.
Oh, I felt fine when I got on the bus. I was nice and comfy for about maybe the first half hour, the drive.
At least there was a toilet on the bus.
Yeah, I can't remember if there was plugs or not. My friend keeps asking me because of his MP3 player.
No, there was none on the bus.
I didn't think there was.
And there was not, we didn't get the
I think there is on the fancier
We didn't get
buses,
the new fancier, newer buses from Greyhound that has the Wi-Fi built in.
But anyways, I took a trip one time from Cleveland, Ohio to Louisiana to see my mother. The trip down was a blast. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I met a lot of interesting people, got to eavesdrop quite a bit on some interesting conversations. I listened to my CD player. Batteries are a great idea to take with you, and anything battery operated. That way, if there is no plug, you're not going to sit there and say, great, my battery ran out, where can I charge it? Oh, I only have a 20-minute layover, not enough time to charge it. And I got a half-hour layaway
I find the train to be nice because you got those electrical
Well, we're
plugs.
not talking about trains right now.
No, I'm just saying, in my opinion.
Some of the layovers were really nice. I had a nice, 4-hour layover in Memphis. That was a blast. I went to a little restaurant around the corner from the bus stop, and happened to be owned by some actor or whatever, and that was kind of cool and fun. And then I went back and got on the bus, and then I went and saw my mom. It was a wonderful trip. I would say don't walk too far from the bus if you got a short stop. If you got a long stop, still stay pretty close to the bus. They will leave without you. I've seen it happen.
I was making a joke when we were pulling in, no offense, but talking about travel, and Browning, Montana, I kept telling him to go to the liquor store for me on the train.
Again, you're going back to trains. But more importantly, when we were coming over from Seattle to Quincy, we saw where an old man had gotten off the bus, and his wife had gotten back on, but he was in the bathroom, and they left him behind, and he was trying to get on our bus to go on to meet up with his wife. And they wouldn't let him on because he'd have to buy a new ticket. Now, that's just absolutely terrible. You know, you got a bladder problem, and you get off the bus and you go use a nice bathroom, and by the time you come back, the bus is gone. They will not take a head count or anything like that. You really do need to stay near the bus.
The bus is bathroom, in my opinion. I just stay on the bus all the way to my transfers, and then
take snacks with you, or take
backpack,
bottles of water and crystal light packs that you can put in your water, or take water, or whatever you can snack wise. It's a lot cheaper than stopping at all the gas stations and trying to buy yourself some beef jerky or something. You could do that, but again, you risk getting too far from the bus. Vending machines are overpriced.
Take your own snacks.
You might pull into a gas station or something where some employee will come out and try to sell sandwiches on the bus. That's really cool, but they also charge a premium. That happened on my trip back, and I didn't have any money for it. They were selling tuna sandwiches for $2.50 a sandwich.
I don't like tuna, so I wouldn't have.
I think it came with a bag of chips and a soda, though. So actually, that wasn't really a bad deal. Then on the way back, I had the absolute most miserable experience of my life, but it wasn't because of the bus. I've learned this over the years. My last 5 days with my mom, she refused to feed me or water me. And what I mean by that is she put a lock on the fridge, and only they could get into it. And her pipes were rusty, and everything had to be filtered for water, because you get brown water coming out of the tap. And so I had nothing to drink or eat, and the moment I got to the bus station, first thing I did was I chugged down like 3 gallons of water. And then I got on the bus after like 2 hours of waiting, and this was just before one of the hurricanes came in. I think it was Hurricane Katrina. So Anyways, the bus ride back, I was absolutely miserable because I was broke. I had no food in me. I just was not happy. I was out of smokes, everything else, and yes, I'm a smoker, so when you're having nicotine fits and everything else, oh, it's just a wonderful experience. But actually, the people on the bus were really nice, and I got along with them, and I ended up finding a pack of cigarettes on the bus because this one woman got out the bus and she missed getting back on, and they took off without her, and she was next to me on the seat, and she had a brown paper bag, and she had her cigarettes and lighter in there. And that was about it. I think there was an apple too, so that kind of helped a bit. But it was an interesting ride back.
Vacuum when it comes to an apple.
Yeah, so we got to Cincinnati, and there was overbooking, and we had to split into 2 buses, and I ended up having to wait 45 minutes for the other bus because I didn't make the cut for the first bus. Don't know how that worked. I think it was first come, first serve, and I was a little late getting in line. So always pay attention at bus stops. Make sure that you get back on. They can be a lot of fun. The bathrooms are tiny and cramped, and I wouldn't recommend using them unless you absolutely have to.
Better than those bathrooms I was telling them when we had the train. We got this one car, right? It was the same car we went from 2 years before. You get into it and you use the toilet, and then you go and you're like, "What's that stink?" It smells like sewer gas. But a bus, it doesn't smell like that.
Yeah.
That train car, man, it's stinky.
At least that's one nice thing about the buses is they usually don't stink near their restrooms. Surprisingly. One other thing to know about buses is if you're on one, try to get yourself 2 seats, and if you have to give one up, you have to give one up. But if you're going to sleep on the bus, you're going to need 2 seats. It is not comfortable to lean back. You can't lean back all the way because there's usually a passenger behind you. You lean back all the way, you end up crushing their knees between your seat and their chair. Even if they're a thin person, it doesn't take up much space. It's a bad idea to lean your chairs back. Just really try to veg out on two seats at once, even though you kind of get a ridge in your side. Let's see, what else on the buses? Definitely listen to the people around you, and if you're going to take, I should say, if you're going to take entertainment because the people around you just don't think will be entertaining, take along books, pads of paper so you can draw or whatever, take along a CD player or something else battery operated, maybe one of those handheld poker games. I wouldn't worry about your cell phone much. Keep it off. Conserve the power unless you need it.
I'm worried about this little guy in the bus. Hi, how are you tonight, Moppy? I'm Moppy. I'm a doggy, and I'm a service doggy, and I want to go on
I don't know how a bus would be with him, especially since he howls at emergency vehicles. That's kind of unacceptable on a bus, and he also likes to bark at cars, and he sometimes gets car sick. So I really don't know how he'll do on a Greyhound.
Under the seat.
I would definitely say if you get the opportunity to take a Greyhound and it's a 24-hour trip or less, do it. Because otherwise you're going to wait until you find a hour or more layover, and you're going to go and find a bathroom right away and take a bar of soap. And, well, if you're going to take a multi-day trip, take a bar of soap, your toothbrush, everything, because you're going to need it in the bathroom because there is no showers.
We didn't have a shower on the train. We were still good, but that was 2 days.
Yeah, but at least on the train there's sinks and stuff. You could kind of give yourself a sponge bath in the bathroom if you need to. You can't do that on a bus because literally the bus's bathroom is like that wide, okay, and it's about that deep. So you walk into it, you can barely close the door behind you, and you kind of got to squirm yourself around to get positioning on anything.
At least they got a sink in there.
I don't even remember if there was a sink.
The one that we went on the one that we had was about 4 foot wide, 6 foot long, and 7 foot high with a sink in it. With
in the train?
No, we're talking the bus from Everett. And it had a sink in it, and you can wash your hands.
Well, the last bus I was in, the bathroom area was maybe 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet with a toilet almost in the center. So you only had about that much space between the toilet and
that was a newer bus then.
Yeah, it was an old bus.
The one that we rode in on
he wants
from Everett was to Quincy was a newer bus.
Huh.
So.
And it may have had a bigger bathroom. It could have been more of a luxury model than what I was on. But all the bathrooms I saw were just bad. So.
He's got tuna breath.
And he hasn't even been eating tuna. And he stinks like garbage, and he hasn't been rolling in it either. At least Moppy smells like strawberries and cream.
Sounds like the neighbor's caddy was just...
Maybe they towed it. We have a new rule here that any car that's parked that's not registered as one of the tenants' cars with a little decal in the window can be towed. So, and we have a neighbor who says he's not going to do it. And that if they tow his car, then he's suing them.
The problem is the guy doesn't own his car.
Yeah, so he can't technically because it has to be on the lease as his, and he can't put it on the lease as his unless he owns it. So, anyways, I think that's it for today. That's kind of a short
I've almost finished the last book I've been reading on the library.
Yep.
I got up early, so I want to get Columbo. No, he's not returning him. He's got some stuff to do with the with Stack that I submitted to him. What did you do this time?
I tugged his hair.
You touched him.
He pees on his belly because his hair's long, and
poor little guy
kind of tangled, and I accidentally snagged a piece of it and yanked his hair.
So anyways, that's all I wanted to say was I'm finishing up the books. Oh, and I found out I can start to learn the art of playing golf in the 9-hole golf course in the next town over. So I'm looking forward to getting some clubs.
I'm not so sure we do too good at that. I mean, it should be a little like bowling or billiards to me because you kind of got to figure out angles and all that stuff. But it seems like it's a rather complicated game. And I don't know if it's something I could get into.
No, he can't get into fly fishing, it seems.
Well, it's kind of hard when you got one hand and a dog. How are you going to do the real thing where you pull it in slowly? The figure of 8. While you're sitting there holding a dog, too. And he's pulling you this way. And
Simple. You take turns.
Yeah, but you enjoy fishing so much you don't like taking turns.
I would take turns because fly fishing kind of drains your stamina, so... Anyways, with that said, thank you everyone for watching. Please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments in the box. Please add us a friend. Oh, and before I go, me and him have Saturday and Sunday next week. We get 2 free hockey games on TV. Oh yeah.
So go and watch some hockey on Friday and Saturday? Or Saturday and Sunday?
Friday and Saturday. Check your local TV guide. I believe it's NBC or CBS that has it.
Yep, and then you got golf next week,
yes,
too.
And my golf next week. So, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please add us a friend. Please post suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless the world.